Hello, Ben.
Hello.
Hello. We're trucking across Europe again, and this time we've got our own wage slave, haven't we?
Yes. What's her name?
Mimi, I think it is.
Mimi.
Yeah, I'm just trying to work out what the best option for us in terms of a route that we can do that isn't going to. Well, I suppose I turned all the rules off, didn't I? So maybe we can. Maybe we'll be able to do like a really fucking long one. Let's do this one. How far is it? I don't know. Let's just do it. We'll break the rules. We'll see how it goes. This could take 2 hours.
Okay, well, we're in it for the long haul, I guess.
Literally.
Haul being the operative word. Yeah, quite. Ugh.
So, I mean, push comes to shove, we can always stop halfway through and finish the job later. Next time.
Yeah.
If it comes to it, we'll see how we're getting on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just make note of what time it is now. 9:15. So, yeah. Yeah, so shall we have a topic then?
Okay.
Whoa! They tried to take us out.
Um.
It says driving maniacally.
So I read something interesting about Bob the Builder recently.
Can he fix it?
Yeah. Yes,
Oh,
he can.
cool. Good. I hope so, but, you know, it's one of them things, isn't it?
Didn't you review the Bob the Builder song because it was #1?
I believe it was a Christmas #1, so yes, I would have reviewed it.
What do you think of it?
Can't remember.
Right.
I mean, if you could always literally look it up and read word for word what I said,
Okay.
or summarize it accordingly. But I suppose it'd be the first time you'd looked at one of those pieces, wouldn't it? If it was a Christmas #1, then yeah, I'd have written about it. If it was a Christmas #2, I'd have written about it. If it was just a #1, I might not have got to it yet. Well, I won't have got to it yet because I'm only doing 1980 this month.
Uh-huh. GTRS, right.
I haven't written the 1980s one yet, which I need to do. But I've got some time off. Not next week, week after, so I'll probably take advantage of that. Looking forward to it. Got a whole week off, you know. So I should be ready before you that week.
Gosh. I'm just sorry, I got distracted by our About Us Writers page.
Oh god, yeah.
I wrote 4 years ago.
As you can probably tell, reader, viewer, whatever, listener, most likely, Ben hasn't spent a lot of time on the site of late. Did you ever reply to that comment you got?
4 out of 10, no.
Did you ever read that comment you got?
No.
You probably should.
Yes, I skimmed it. It was nice. I can't be asked.
Okay.
Sorry. Yes, Bob the Builder. Now, this popped up for me. This is an old story. This is 24 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Bob the Builder has been doctored in Japan. Was doctored in Japan. Do you know why?
It wasn't quite waifu enough.
No.
Oh?
No. It's something to do with his fingers.
Oh, okay.
Bob the Builder is missing his little finger. He's only got 4 fingers.
Oh, is that a victim of a Yakuza thing or something?
Well, it's a Yakuza sign.
Oh.
Apparently, it's not uncommon for the Yakuza to cut off their little finger as a sign that they can be trusted. You know, that's their commitment to the mafia. And demonstrates a strength of character, apparently.
Does it really?
Yes, so in Japan he got an extra digit added.
I mean, that would make more sense to me if he was a Yakuza member, because then can he fix it becomes a criminal enterprise, doesn't it?
Apparently the same... Yes. Postman Pat got the same treatment, apparently.
Oh, well, Postman Pat also got a fucking helicopter in later edition, so you know.
Do you know what Postman Pat's cat was called?
Jess.
Jess. Postman...
He lives in Greendale, I believe.
Sam... Oh no, it's Farmer Sam.
That's Pontypandy, as far as Sam's from. Dorman Price!
Pew, pew, Barney McGrew.
That's Trumpton. That's from Trumpton.
Bagpuss.
Yes.
Bagpuss.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any strong feelings really towards Bob the Builder.
Did you ever watch Bob the Builder?
Yeah, I
as a
did.
child?
Not for me. I saw it for my sisters who were born in 2003 and they were ripe sort of age for wanting to watch that sort of
Oh.
shit.
I think I watched Bob the Builder when I
Hmm.
was little. I watched Postman Pat.
I remember watching Teletubbies.
There was a. Do you remember the Poddington Peas?
Uh, yes, but I don't think it
Down at
was
the
for.
bottom of the garden.
I remember the song. I don't remember actually watching it.
Do you my friend and I at uni, we were listening. We spent a night just listening to old kids' TV theme tunes.
Yeah, but
We
no.
found a show called Stew People.
Okay.
Stew People.
Did
Yeah.
the Raggy Dolls come up when you did that?
Maybe.
Because I remember the
Essentially,
Raggy
Stew
Dolls.
People was different shoes with different sort of personalities. Like you had a workman's boot and a posh shoe. I should imagine ballerina shoes. I think were in it.
Hmm.
Green Claws. Do you remember Green Claws?
No, I don't remember Green Claws.
Green Claws was about a monster who grew magic plants.
Oh, okay.
They did a different thing each week.
Just like Mr. Ben.
Monster Cafe. Do you know Monster Cafe?
No, I'm not familiar with that one. I've heard of Monster Prom, but that's a video game.
Is it horribly sexual?
I don't know. I never played it. I've got it, but I've never played it. I'd have got it as part of some bundle thing. No. Oh, what was I going to say? Yeah, the Raggy Dolls TV show. The premise was that these are toys that had been created, but they were defects. They had defects, so they weren't able to. They weren't to be played with properly. So they were put in a reject bin, and they formed a social group together where they touch one another as friends. Because everyone's ultimately different, and what makes someone right isn't necessarily the same for each other. You know, they still.
Well, that's a nice idea.
Yeah, I mean that's the general gist of it at least. So.
I know people complained about Monster Cafe because it was scary.
Yeah. Do you remember Funny Bones? I think it was Funny Bones.
Yeah, in a dark house, there's a dark secret.
And it's all the skeletons in Keir Starmer's closet. I don't know. I picked the first person who came to mind. Have you got skeletons in your closet, Ben?
Well, literally.
No, not literally.
Then no.
No, you. Well played. Well played. Someone at work keeps referencing Peep Show, but it's like silly little subtle things. Like I showed a colleague a picture of my son with a snake, and he didn't see the colleague who makes the Peep Show references didn't see the picture, but they commented on the situation with, "Can you dry clean a snake?"
Lol.
Yeah, which obviously a reference to the episode in which Superhands hires a snake for a party and it gets six on. I explained the reference to the colleague that I showed the picture to because they've never seen Peep Show. I went, right. So I explained it because she felt left out. She was confused. I clarified the situation.
Well, that was kind of you.
Well, you know, I feel like if you're going to make a reference that not everyone's going to understand, someone probably needs to explain it to those who don't get it, right? But in a non-condescending way. So I probably failed that last bit, but. And there was another one. She was trying to find a picture on her phone at one point, and I made a joke about. No, she was trying to find a picture that I drew about 6-7 years ago. I drew a picture of an owl once on my lunch break, and gave it to her because I didn't want it, and she kept it all this time, but she couldn't find it. And I said, I can't believe you've lost the owl. I'll never forgive you if you've wiped the owl. And he was chuckling to himself about that and again that came up as I had to explain that one to her, but it wasn't really for her benefit, it was for his benefit, right?
Yeah.
So, you know. I had some interesting feedback this week, or last week, on Friday. I had a phone. Do you remember a few months back in January, I had that meeting about me having a bit of a shitty attitude at work, apparently.
Yeah.
Well, the manager who was at that meeting and who wanted that meeting to take place had some feedback about me from a different department,
Yeah.
about how I've been how I've come across as being really helpful and really eager to be a team player lately.
Good.
Like, I was always willing to be helpful. I was willing to be a team player. They were just pissing me off. I just didn't want to have to deal with their bullshit. You know, so I don't know what. I don't really think that much changed. I mean, I've been a bit more jokey in the office with people. That's probably about it. You know, I've made the same sort of joke to members of that department that I've heard them making with each other. Like their supervisor, who I don't technically think is their supervisor. I think they're officially a team leader. Their team leader. Sometimes when asked the question is this the kind of question I'm going to want to be asked? And then for the first time I heard that later in the day, she wanted to ask me a question. I said, is this the kind of question I'm going to want to be asked? And she had a laugh about it, and the team had a laugh about it, and it's one of those silly little inside joke things.
Yes, we have a lot of those.
It's sort of contextually it works, and I mean if you don't know what's going on, it probably comes across as being a bit rude, right?
Well, yeah, like my I don't think this is given too much away. My team leader renewed her wedding vows recently. She had a marriage, her vow renewal, which she kept mispronouncing as her bowel removal. So we've called it her bowel removal ceremony. She brought in photos of her bowel removal.
Brilliant.
Yes.
That's funny. I like that. Yeah. I do have. I mean, I don't want to go into too much detail, but I had a meeting at work yesterday, as you know. It was basically pointless, but as a lot of meetings are. I was a bit concerned that because it has two people who are known for going off topic and carrying on a lot longer than they need to, I was a bit worried it was going to take most of the day. Mercifully, there was another meeting after hours booked in the same room with one of the same people.
Yes.
Yes. So thankfully, we had a 1 hour time limit, and we only took 50 minutes. So that helps. Helps like there wasn't really anything to argue about as well. So, but the meeting afterwards, I found out was about professionalism and ethics in the workplace. And I mean, it was joked about one of us covering it, and my immediate reaction was, well, I don't really think I'm necessarily an expert on professionalism.
I didn't hear that. Sorry.
I wouldn't necessarily say that I'm an expert on professionalism, and that got a little bit of a giggle because I'm not overly professional, but I'm not also necessarily the kind of person who's just a twat to people in general. Like,
I feel like I sort of fall into that as well.
Like,
I hope I do.
It's difficult because from what I gather, they don't necessarily want professionalism. They just want people to treat each other with a bit of fucking respect, and not intentionally piss each other off. Now I don't. Yeah. I never, even when I was having that shitty time before, I wasn't intentionally pissing people off. I just didn't want to have to deal with them. I didn't want to have to put up with their shit. I wasn't in a mood for it. But I wasn't like telling them to fuck off and go fuck themselves and intentionally fucking things up so they'd have to deal with it and all that kind of shit. Do you have many people track what you do whilst you're working?
My boss is my team leader is really very good. We have a very long leash. I'm essentially allowed to do what I like as long as I'm turning out the work and it's to a good standard. It's fine.
We recently,
trust me.
In the last few months, we've been asked to log how long it takes us to do certain tasks, like the ones that are on the specific task lists. Because we have a weekly task list, we have a monthly task list, then we have a second weekly task list, but it's to do with a specific job, where it's made up of a load of smaller jobs. So we have those 3 task lists, and it was how long does the stuff that you're doing actually take you? And they want us to fill that in, and we stopped filling it in on one of them because we've been doing it for about 2 months and no one had said anything, so we thought, fuck it, we're just going to stop. We've been asked. We got asked in that meeting yesterday to carry on doing it, so. That's a Monday job as far as I'm concerned, is to carry on that, because if we're halfway through the week already and we haven't done it, well, they can...
Yeah.
Whoops. That didn't go to plan.
You bloody idiot. You fucking idiot.
That one. Whoopsie daisy. That wasn't Merry Christmassy. So anyway, where are we going? Oh, hang on. Can I repair it? I'm not fucking repairing it. I don't care. It's not my truck.
Oh. Old Matilda, what's her face, wouldn't have done it?
Mimi.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, we've got that thing going on. But also, we've been getting asked what we're doing that day as well. Like, what's our plan for the day? Which, I mean, I've never necessarily. I mean, you know me. If I don't necessarily have to do anything on a day, I'll take it easy, right? I will
Yeah,
I will
I wouldn't
give
have that
myself.
recorded. But,
I will give myself a more restful day. I'll still get everything done that needs to be done, but I won't push for it. I won't push myself, because sometimes you need a day to recuperate, especially this week. Like I've not pushed myself as much as I needed to yesterday or today, because I worked my fucking ass off Monday, Tuesday, and ultimately there's only so much I can get done before tomorrow, which is when everything really kicks up again. Like, there's certain stuff I cannot do until tomorrow, so as long as everything that can be done is done by then, so I can focus on that shit, I'm happy, right?
Yeah.
But apparently, this is happening because it's not always necessarily clear that stuff is actually getting done by certain people on the team. So the task list that we've got, other than a few weekly bits that we know how long they take, one of my colleagues has not necessarily been shown to have done anything this week of any real note or length of time. So we're both getting asked, because there's just two of us in this team now, plus and then the boss. We're both getting asked what we're doing, because they're not necessarily looking like they're doing anything. It's just like, well, why are you asking me what I'm doing? Because you can see what I'm bloody doing. I've got a bloody calendar that I fill in with it, and I'm very open about the fact that, you know, Monday, Tuesday, I'd done everything I needed to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because I'd put the time in and I put the work in. I am ahead of my own planned schedule to get everything done by deadline. It's as simple as that. The only thing that I've not put down to have done by deadline is a job that realistically isn't going to be able to be done by deadline because of the way we operate. And I've put it for first thing the day after. Like, I'm not... Because I don't know how well you know accounting, but, like, probably not all that well. But we have what we call a day book, and it is a log of transactions that we put on the system each day. And we can post that day book at any time. And that finalises it on the system. And if you're going to fix anything that you've already put through at that point, you need to put another one on to cancel it or amend it. You can't just change it before it's saved. It's like if you're typing a Word document, until you've printed it, you can edit it, and then your print out will be fine. Yeah. But once you've printed it, if you're gonna sort it out, you probably need to type it out and then print it again.
Yeah.
That sort of principle. And we don't. Our boss doesn't like us doing those after 5 p.m. And because of the nature of the deadline that we're working to at the moment, typically there is still stuff going on that needs to be posted after 5 p.m. Like, we're still working on them, we're still putting them on the system in the first place. So, and one of my jobs needs that shit to have been done and posted so that I can then do this last job. So I physically can't do that job until after it's all posted. And if it ain't getting posted before deadline, I can't do my job before deadline. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Does it actually make sense, or are you just saying that?
Yes.
Okay.
Doesn't matter.
No, not really. Probably not.
No. I'm sorry things are not going well.
It's not that they're not going well. I'm ahead of.
Happy things are going well.
I'm ahead of deadline. I'm ahead of my target. That's what matters. I've done shit that I was going to do tomorrow already. You know, I am pushing myself. It just seems that maybe other people on the team aren't showing to be pushing themselves, which is funny because really I don't push myself. Of the two of us, I'm the one who pushes myself the least.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, I have a good team leader who lets us sort of, as long as we're producing the work, as long as we're not, you know, making mistakes left, right, and centre, and I'm not, you know, I get on with my stuff. I know what I'm doing. I know how to manage myself. I know, you know, what I need in order to facilitate the best work I can do.
Yeah, same.
You're happy to let me go, you know.
I was.
I think that's really the sign of a good manager. I think a lot of them fall into the trap of thinking that if you're not working all the time, you're not working at all.
Yeah, and it's not that simple, is it?
No.
I mean, this I was overhearing because I was being directly told. I don't know why it's overhearing. I was being told that the amount of work and the amount of time that it's believed that these jobs should take does not in any way add up to the amount of time that has taken place. Right, there is a large unaccountable gap. Wednesday in particular, I think it was, like, accounting for an hour's lunch and an hour's meeting, there was supposedly 3 hours worth of work got done.
You're trying to overtake on the hard shoulder.
No, I was just driving along. 3 hours worth of work supposedly got done, including 2 individual non-work hours. So that was really an hour's worth of work got done over the course of the day.
Yeah.
Which is that's not a very progress day. So I questioned where's your calculations for what you know that I've done for that day, and the answer I got was, well, I haven't done one because I can see that you've done stuff. I can see what you've done. There's a record of it. It makes sense to me where your time's gone. So I haven't tried to work it out. I've not calculated it, which makes clearly I'm not the issue, right? Unless that's bullshit and to appease me because I was there, right?
Your office sounds fucking messy, man.
It is messy at times. They're trying to streamline stuff, but the trouble is, we had the financial director in this meeting yesterday. Who isn't the financial director anymore? It's not his title. It's chief finance officer or something. Same fucking thing. He was in this meeting, and we've been told repeatedly that he wants to trim stuff down to as few days as possible to get it done. And at the moment, we've gone from a 10-day process to an 8-day process. They've cut 2 days out. And we're still just about hitting the deadline for the most part, which is fine. Fantastic. I can live with that. But in this meeting, where we're talking about trying to trim it down to potentially 6 days, but he outright said that if it's a choice between 6 days and it being not necessarily 100% correct, or 8 days and it being bloody close to correct, bloody close to spot on, then we take the 8 days. So, like, why are we trying to push it further than 6 then? Just fucking stick to the 8 that we know works at the moment, and and if we can trim a bit of time and get it done a bit earlier, we will. Give us a fucking 8 days, or at least wait until we've lost a bit of work. Some of the work's meant to be going away from us, you see. So when that happens, trim the deadline down a little bit more. Like I'm losing an entire day to one particular job. One job I will be doing will take me all day Monday. No ifs, no buts. It's going to take me a day. If it goes well. If it goes badly, it could take me a day and a half too.
Well, would you like another topic?
Do you want me to stop ranting about work in case someone from my work listens to this?
That's part of it, yeah.
Look, if you know me, look, Wendy, if you don't want me to bitch about things, don't let these situations happen, okay? And if you worked more than 4 fucking days a week, 3.5 days a week, as our HR person who
Wendy,
we share with another company, and she works 4 days a week.
Well, I have
one HR person.
I have far too much respect for the place I work to
criticise.
Well, I don't really have much to criticise, to be honest. That's not me sucking it up. That's just a fact. I really don't.
I'm getting to that point where I'm enjoying working there again. I just wish that people were a bit more amenable, I've been there a long time, man. It'll be 12 years this year. That's fucking. If I say something's the way it is, probably it's for a fucking reason why it's the way it is. I'm not just trying to be awkward. It's just I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that place now. I've been there longer than the CFO. He joined after me, so people coming in and telling you how you should be doing things when they don't fully understand.
Anyway,
it's ridiculous sometimes. Go on, pick another topic. Get me out of trouble. Oh, actually, also one thing: the advantage of having of sharing a HR person that doesn't work full time means that they've never got round to the harassment emails that they've been sent about me. That's a joke, Ben.
You hear about this Shrek 5 then, eh?
Yeah, that's one of the joys of having a Labour government is that we're getting more Shrek films.
You get a new Shrek movie.
Yeah, we're getting a new Shrek movie because
Well,
they've not released a Shrek movie under a Tory government.
no. When was the last one? Do you remember?
I'm assuming it was like 2008, 2009.
No,
It was
heavens
shit.
no. It was 2010.
Was it? Yeah,
Do you
okay.
remember? Yeah. So yeah, the first one is the original.
Well, naturally,
Obviously.
yeah.
Yes, and Shrek rescues Fiona and it's got Lord Farquaad, and then the next one they go to happily ever after fairy godmother,
Yep.
and then the third
Hang
one.
hang on. Shrek the Third is the search for Arthur to replace
Yeah.
Evermez King because he croaks.
Yes, Prince Charming is the villain.
Yeah, and Shrek Forever After is the one where he Richie Riches the situation, in a way, and he trades something for a day of not having to deal with all that shit, and the day he trades away is the day he rescued Fiona, so all that shit never happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen the films. I've seen the
So
films.
yeah.
I'm familiar.
Yeah.
Do not speak of me of the old magic, because I was there when they were produced.
Shrek 5 is well, apparently, I'm reading the Wikipedia page. Apparently, following the success of Shrek 2 in May 2004, Jeffrey Katzenberg revealed that the Shrek story had been outlined into 5 films almost from the beginning.
Oh, okay.
Doubtful.
Yeah, because it's taken this long for them to get to number 5, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't know whether I think there was a bit of fatigue. According to that, in the last chapter we will understand how Shrek came to be in that swamp when we meet him in the first movie. So it may be a prequel.
Shrek.
After the
0.0.
release of Shrek the Third in 2007, Katzenberg announced that the 5th film would be released in 2013.
It wasn't, though.
No.
Was there an update to that, or?
25 years after the original Shrek film was going to come out. Do you like Shrek the film?
I do. I like the first one. I like the second one. The third one was weak. Had a few moments that I quite liked. For example, Merlin's in that one, isn't he?
Yes, that's played by
I can't remember.
what's his face?
Eric Idle.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to remember what his voice was like, and in my head it sounded like I thought Eric Idle would sound like from having last heard him. So yeah, okay. But there's this bit where he's obviously only wearing like a robe or something, and they comment that you can I don't necessarily trust him because you can see his, and it cuts out because you can't talk about his bollocks in a kids film.
No, you can't.
But that was where they were going with it. It's that stupid. It's obviously a kids film, but they've thrown jokes like that in for the adults that have to watch it, right? And I love it when things do that. I do. Yeah. It tickles me in ways that it's designed to, right? It's the whole fucking point. I am the target of those sorts of jokes, and they work. So yes, I like 1, 2, 3 had a few moments. 4 was awful. Simple as that. You there?
Well. Yes. Sorry. Yes. I like the first one, and I like the second one.
I blame Shrek for the existence of the that naughty craze where every song had a fucking song and dance number at the end.
Yeah.
I categorically blame Shrek for that.
I mean, it was a big one for edgy animated movies, wasn't it? That sort of went, fuck you, Disney.
Yeah, that's true. I suppose with the success of How to Train Your Dragon, that was another reason to shift away from Shrek for a little while. Because that's a fucking good. That makes me cry. That film sometimes. Genuinely.
Lame.
No, it's the whole father-son relationship thing. You know what my life's
like. Oh, having a kid fucking changed you, didn't it?
It did.
Jesus Christ.
You know, it absolutely. I can't watch Return of the King without getting a bit weepy at the end.
Why? Oh, what? Because Samwise Gamgee hugs his kids.
No, it's just how I can't remember what it was last time I watched it. I think it was that bit where no, my friends, no, you bow to no one or whatever it was.
Well, that's a nice moment.
You know, that's something about that. Maybe a bit creepy last time I watched it, but it might have been because I was watching it on a VCR back on a shitty TV way back when. So it's been a while. I'm looking forward to hearing it again. Have you got more on Shrek? Shall we carry on?
No, we can leave it.
Okay, because I didn't want to change topic if you had more.
That's fine. There's nothing really else to.
Hmm.
to
I've got a few Lord of the Rings topics to go over.
add. Okay.
Okay, so obviously, I've been listening to The Hobbit, and I listened to The Hobbit in the space of a day. Right.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're quite familiar with The Hobbit.
Money are enough?
Have you read the book?
No.
Have you watched the film?
No.
Is that your attempt at a Martin Freeman voice? Martin
No.
Freeman from Hot Fuzz.
No.
Okay. Just to be clear, because obviously he played Bilbo, didn't he? So.
Well, it wasn't intentional.
Okay.
But yeah, it was.
Yeah. Okay.
In a roundabout way.
So I quite like the book. I mean, it's absurd that they
Yeah.
turned what is a 10.5 hour audiobook into three 3 hour films. We touched on that ourselves before, personally in private, didn't we? In fact, that's absurd that they did that, but you know.
Yeah.
It's a good audiobook. It's very conversational. It's very much like you are being told the story by someone, which sits in line with the premise, isn't it? Is that it was a story he was telling his kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mr. Sunday,
Yes.
808 euros.
Well, famously, it started with he was marking papers and was bored out of his mind and just started scribbling away, and he wrote, "In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit." He was like, "What the fuck is a hobbit?"
Professor Tolkien, what does this mean? Did I use the wrong punctuation?
You heard the Diana Wynne Jones, is it? Who was another children's author who attended his lectures. So that basically, Cambridge at that point, if no students attended your lecture, you could basically just sort of hang around and do your own thing. You still got paid for it. But she was like one of a handful that went, and just apparently he like mumbled as he was writing. He didn't enunciate particularly clearly because he couldn't be asked to be there. He just wanted to work on Lord of the Rings. And Diana Wynne Jones kept asking him questions, and she. I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah, it'll be funny, I'm sure.
She like spoke about how he would like described the hero's journey and stuff.
Isn't there this whole thing where Sam's the real hero of the story? Isn't Sam meant to be the?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. You can definitely read it that way.
I think it's probably the best reading of it. He's the average person who stands up and does what needs to be done, no questions asked, no matter how hard it gets. He doesn't falter at any point. His sole objective in the entire thing is to stand by his master, as it were. And he does what needs to be done when it needs to be done. Whereas everyone else is in some way corrupted by the influences around him. He stays true of heart throughout. He's the ultimate hero from the story, based on that.
Okay, so I found this thing. I think you're right, in a way. Apparently, when J.R.R. Tolkien was a professor, on the first day of class, he'd wait until his students were in the lecture hall and seated, and starting to wonder whether they were all in the wrong room before throwing... There's no punctuation in this entire thing. Before throwing open the doors at the back of the hall and striding down the aisle, reciting the first 50 lines of Beowulf in Old English. Very Tolkien. He fucking loved Beowulf.
Well, you know, if someone's done right, appreciate it, right?
Yes, he gave his lectures in a very, very small room and didn't address us, his audience, at all. In fact, he looked the other way, with his face almost squashed up against the blackboard. He spoke in a mutter. His mind was on finishing Lord of the Rings, and he was really musing to himself about the nature of narrative. But I found this so fascinating that I came back week after week, as did one other person. I've always wondered what became of him because he was also equally fascinated, and because we were stuck there, Tolkien couldn't go away and write Lord of the Rings. He would say the most marvellous things about the way you take a very basic plot and twitch it here and twitch it there, and it becomes a completely different plot.
Yeah, I mean, that's good writing, isn't it? But no, I enjoy The Hobbit. I recommend it as a read, but it is a kids book. It is very much a kids book. Um,
Mm.
Gandalf's barely in it, despite being a fairly important character in the rest of the series. The
Well,
Ring's barely in it.
well, yeah. Speaking of which, I found this. If I can interject, sorry,
Hmm.
I found this other post that does talk about how obviously when Tolkien wrote The Hobbit, he wasn't planning Lord of the Rings.
Hmm.
Like we talked about this
We did.
between the two of us.
Hmm.
That the one ring is just it's just a magic ring.
Yeah.
It's not particularly important.
There's a lot of
This
talk
person,
of magic rings in the first one.
yeah,
It's just Bilbo found one. That's all it is. It's
yes,
not.
it's just a fantasy item that doesn't really amount to much. Um, yeah, according to this, Tolkien didn't write Gandalf as a serious, gritty, epic fantasy wizard. Tolkien wrote Gandalf as an extremely petty, sarcastic drama queen who roasts everyone 24/7. Who's almost like a parody of a wizard. Funny character who isn't supposed to be realistic, but a character that little kids would find funny and want to hear stories about.
Hmm.
What's your feeling on that?
I don't necessarily think it comes across as being much of a roaster from
Hmm.
from the original text. Being a bit petty, yeah, I can see that. But he's like I say, he's barely in it really in the grand scheme of things. He keeps fucking off.
Was he? Is he? Does it say he's dealing with a necromancer?
It gets he mentions a necromancer at some point, but I think that's I can't remember. Maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It's probably the sort of thing where you just need to get rid of the wizard because he's too powerful. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, for the entire situation, he did very little. I mean, he helped out with stopping the trolls because there was some trolls they bumped into. In fact, actually, that's something. The entirety of the Hobbit is the dwarves being awful at their adventuring, and thus needing to be saved by Bilbo.
Mm.
And the entirety of the Lord of the Rings is the Hobbits being awful at adventuring and having to be saved by literally every other fucker around them. Like they couldn't get from Hobbiton to Crick Hollow without serious help. They couldn't get from Crick Hollow to Bree without help. They couldn't get from Bree to Rivendell without help. They spend so much of their fucking time. It's only really in the Two Towers, taking it from the films because it's been a while since I've read the books. It's only really in the Two Towers that the Hobbits come into their own.
Mm.
Much like in the Hobbit, it's only really in the mountains when he finds the ring that Bilbo comes into his own. Like that moment when they have to fend for themselves properly because they understand the gravity of the situation. There's still a bit laughy jokey for them until that point, I think.
Mm.
And that bit again from the film, I can't remember what it's like in the book, so I've not got to it yet. But in the film, when Merry and Pippin realise that Frodo is running away just before Boromir dies, that's the point, isn't it? Where this is real. This is he's going, and we need to fend for ourselves now, and we need to do what we can to help him, even though we can't go with him.
Mm.
That's how I interpret it, anyway. You know, that look of realization on Merry's face, because Merry's the clever one out of the two,
Yeah.
and Pippin's a fucking
Yeah.
moron, a fool of a
I
twit.
always liked in Lord of the Rings. Hang on, just bear with me 1 second.
Okay. So yeah, viewer, I got through The Hobbit in a day whilst working, and I have now got through most of Fellowship of the Ring since I've only got 4.5 hours to go. I'll get through that tomorrow. They're being read by Andy Serkis for reference. It's quite good. I'm enjoying it. So you know.
Just putting me jumpy on. Yeah, I always liked in Lord of the Rings how Frodo was the main character.
Sorry, I was expecting a more cogent point there.
No, I always liked how as you mentioned before, the idea of the chosen one hero,
Hmm.
you know, a prophecy or whatever. You know, Luke Skywalker is the son of Darth Vader and whatever, and Harry Potter is prophesied to be the one to kill Voldemort. But Frodo is the hero because he's nobody. You know, he's so insignificant that they can risk him carrying the ring.
Yeah.
If Gandalf or Elrond or even Boromir or Gimli has the ring, then that's a problem.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
Gandalf becomes a mighty engine of destruction. Frodo becomes Gollum.
Yeah. Push comes to shove,
Uh,
they can deal with Gollum.
yes, it's he's such a small thing that the risk is minimal. But I also really like that Frodo doesn't go back and live happily ever after.
No,
His experiences forever change him.
it is. They've all. It's shown in the film better than like. I mean, they cut a lot of stuff out because I mean, in the books, I know the
Scouring
Shire.
of the Shire.
Yeah, the Shire is captured and taken
Sharky,
over.
aka Saruman, yeah.
You know, it's a terrible situation for them back home that has been ravaged by a war that they had hoped to avoid coming to them.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that, to be honest. I obviously haven't read the book, but I feel like that change in the films is for the best.
I mean, it's complicated, isn't it? Because I mean, it's long enough as it is, without
Yeah, so
throwing another hour's worth of film into it. Hour and a half's worth of film.
yeah, I don't think you. I know Christopher Lee wasn't too pleased about it, but I don't think it's.
It
I
depends
don't
on
think it
what your.
worked.
It depends on what you understand the purpose of that to be. Because if you understand the purpose of that to be likening to the men who came back from World War Two.
World War One, yeah.
Well, I mean, the Lord
Well,
of the Rings,
any war really.
Lord of the Rings didn't come out until after World War Two.
Yeah, but
so-
Tolkien. I mean, he always denied it was allegorical
Oh,
in
absolutely.
nature, but
Yeah, yeah.
Tolkien was a veteran of World War One.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of World War One-esque things in, like the Dead Marshes.
Yeah.
That's very World War One.
Absolutely. But I mean, if you want to take it as a comment on the men who've come back from war forever changed by the conflict they've seen, and
Yeah.
I mean it works better as a World War Two because of the Blitz and the need for people, the fact that people were being killed here in Britain despite the war being never having reached our shores properly. You know, it works better as a World War Two thing than it does a World War One, personally. But
I don't know.
it wasn't his intention. Apparently, he does deny it, like you say.
No, well, he always denied it. I don't know whether it's. I don't think he intentionally set out to do that, but I suspect it's true that it's seeped in regardless.
Yeah, I mean, these things will.
Frodo sort of is emblematic of a lot of his generation who came back from World War One, only to find that they had been forever changed and they could never go back to as it was.
The foreword from the audiobook is obviously written by Tolkien, and he mentions how of the people that he knew that went to war, only one of his friends survived, and that is very much that whole experience in itself is going to dictate part of how you write. It's your experiences dictate how you present media to people. It's as simple as that. You can't control it. It's just it's because of how it shapes you. It naturally shapes how you present stuff.
Yeah.
You can't avoid it.
No.
Its intent is what is questionable, and
Well, yeah,
I'm
I
willing
don't
to
think
believe he didn't mean to. But
No, I don't think he sat down and said, you know what, I'm gonna deliberately draw parallels here with World War One. I don't think he did that, but
No.
you know, as I said, I think it's seeped in regardless.
Absolutely. I mean, it's interesting to me that he never really sets anyone up as being like a scion of what's the word? There's no ultimate group of people within. Even the hobbits have their flaws, right? Fundamental flaws that make them not these perfect beings. The elves are not these perfect beings because they're ineffectual. They don't do anything, right? And the dwarves are greedy, and men are evil, and men are easily corruptible, and the hobbits don't want to have anything to do with anyone else. They want to keep to themselves because they're lazy little people. You know, they all have their flaws, and it's only the coming together of these different nations that can overcome a great evil. You know.
Yeah.
What would you rather be?
Which Middle Earth race?
Yeah.
Elf.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
No,
you.
what am I saying? I want to be a hobbit.
I was gonna say. I think Hobbit is the best choice there because at the
Well, I
end of
don't know
the
whether
day,
I want to be a hobbit, but I like to live in Hobbiton.
yeah.
I could be the giant
Oh, oh,
that
oh.
everybody sort of likes. I mean, that's the best. Can we agree that's like easily one of the best fictional places to live?
Yeah, I'd say so.
It's the Shire.
Yeah.
You just sort of live a nice, low life. It's where I'd like to retire if I could retire to anywhere.
It is for the most part peaceful, isn't it? That's for
Well, it's entirely peaceful, really, apart from
what it isn't.
in the book at the ending. Is it not?
Well, no, I mean, I'd say it is peaceful. I mean, there was the only things that happen to them are when other outside forces make things happen to them. They live very simple lives. They are people who have time to grow fat. Yeah, you don't have many people growing fat in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I mean, Bomber
No.
from The Hobbit.
No fat elves.
Right, they're slender because they're always running about with their, or walking about pondering with their fucking lembas bread. No calories in lembas bread. Some of the dwarves get a bit fat, but Oh, that's
Well,
a point.
Well,
No, go on, go ahead.
well, I was just going to mention the Sackville Baggins stuff that's in the book.
Yep.
They're a cadet branch of the Baggins family, and they want Bag End because it's fucking lovely.
Yeah, it is, and Frodo fucking sells it to him, doesn't he?
Mm.
On Bilbo's birthday of all fucking days. What a fucking disgrace that is. What was I going to say? Oh, I've forgotten now. Oh well, it'll come back to me. They cut something else from the film. They cut a lot from the. Sorry, they cut a lot from the film because obviously it's a fucking long book, right? And they changed where it's split and all that kind of crap. But one thing in particular that they cut is something that I hadn't ever read for myself from the series, from the book. Even though I've got it, I've got the fucking compilation of all of them. Tom Bombadil.
Yes, I forgot why we were going to mention Lord of the Rings, but we were sort of flirting around the edges of Tom Bombadil, so to speak.
Yeah, but before we started recording tonight. And I've always skipped a Tom Bombadil section. A, because it isn't the film. And I thought, I can't be asked with it. And B, because it always looked like it droned on and on for a bit. And having listened to it properly, it does fucking go on. Tom Bombadil annoys the hell out of me as a character. It's all fucking sing-song. And I get it, right? I understand. Fucking hell, there's a train there. I understand it because it's one of those. This is a man who has no wants in life. He has the means and the opportunity to do what he wants when he wants, how he wants, and he doesn't have to think about the outside world. And I get it, yeah. But the whole sing-song thing, and he's basically a simp. He's a massive fucking simp.
What, him and Mary Doll?
Yeah, or Golden something, or I don't know. I can't remember her name, but he's everything he does. He's talking about going to get flowers for his going to pick flowers for his pretty woman, and it's not simping by modern day standards. But if it was updated to a modern day representation of stuff, he's absolutely simping for her, right? And that's fine because presumably it's his partner of sorts. So live with it. It's fine, but they don't have to go on about it. They do go on.
Well, I haven't read it. So I'm not really entitled to an opinion, but from what I hear, that's basically the consensus. That it's moving the story's moving at a pretty quick pace. The hobbits are on the move, and then they bump into Tom Bombadil, and it just fucking stops, dead in its tracks for a bit.
Yeah,
but I have to say I kind of like Tom Bombadil conceptually. From what I know, one of the things I really like about him is when they're meeting with Elrond, he's brought up. It's like maybe we can get him involved on this, and Gandalf says well, he holds the ring, doesn't he?
Yeah, and it holds no
He holds
power
the
over
ring.
him at all.
Yes, it's just a trinket, and the argument Gandalf uses for like not bringing him into it is that he has no concept of its importance whatsoever. It means absolutely nothing. He is going to put it in his pocket and forget about it.
Hmm.
You know, so there's no point doing that. Which I sort of like as a way around it.
There was a bit where Frodo puts the ring on in front of him, and then goes to leave the room, and no one else can see where he is. But Tom's like, "Where are you going? Like, where are you going? We're not done yet." My eyes work better than everyone else in the room. You know, I can see you still. It's like, well, you know, clearly he has some arcane power there that is beyond that of the rest of the.
I mean, people have been speculating for fucking 70 odd years or more.
Yeah.
Well, apparently he made his first appearance in the 30s. As to the exact nature of Tom Bombadil. I mean, it's one of those great Tolkien debates.
Clearly, it's a godlike creature. Must be simple as that.
He says he's the eldest, that he remembers the first raindrop and the first acorn. He knew the dark under the stars when it was fearless, before the Dark Lord came from outside.
God. Whether he had a hand in the creation or not, this is a god.
May or may not be. May be some sort of personification of nature or something. I don't know.
Either way, point is, he's annoying. You gotta bite it.
Yeah.
While you were gone, I was saying that I've been listening to him as read by Andy Serkis.
Yeah.
So the first time we meet Gollum in The Hobbit, he's snuck up on Bilbo and he's saying it in his ear. He's talking to him in his ear, and it was fucking creepy. I have to say. Obviously, his Gollum voice is quite good because he's got a proper experience of doing that, hasn't he? Whereas the likes of his Gandalf was a bit lacking in The Hobbit, but he's got better for Fellowship. But I'm past that point now with Gandalf. He's fallen.
Oh, in Moria.
In Moria, I did that last night.
I love that bit in the film.
Yeah, it's a good bit. You know the Fly You Fools bit?
Yes.
The way he presented the line was he elongated the fools as if he was saying it whilst falling.
Whoa.
Which added another element to the idea of it, because obviously I've got the image from the film where he's hanging onto the ledge, says it, and then falls. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that. You were going to say?
What was I going to say?
I don't know. For Moria? Minds of Moria?
Yeah, I love that bit in the film. What did we say before that?
Andy Serkis, Gollum voice, Gandalf voice.
Oh well, hardly matters. Oh, he's in the Rings of Power, apparently.
Who, Andy Serkis?
Tom Bombadil.
Oh, okay. I've not seen it.
He's played by Rory Kinnear.
Oh, that's a name that I recognise, but I can't put a face to it.
He was the Prime Minister in Black Mirror who had sex with a pig.
Oh, him. Obviously, I've seen him in other stuff, but yeah, I know him from that.
Yeah.
One of the very few episodes of Black Mirror I've ever seen. We've got traffic. What's going on here? Oh no, it's good. I've managed to get in the correct lane to not have to worry about it. Yeah, it's yeah. What's your favourite battle scene from Lord of the Rings?
Fiction. Oh, just in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. You've seen all three films, yeah?
Yeah, Pelennor Fields.
That's the one outside the front of Gondor, isn't it? Minas Tirith, sorry.
Yeah.
Is this the battle before they march on Mordor?
It's everything. It's everything from the Riders of Rohan showing up till the end.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I I've got a soft spot for the Moria fight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
More of a
that too.
skirmish than a battle, I would say. But
Yeah.
you know, I really fucking love the Moria fight. And the way it's broken up into fight, flight, fall it works for me as a concept, and it's a nice midpoint in the film as well. The Battle of Amon Hen I quite like, although they're all a bit split up for that. That's where Boromir dies. That's quite nice. Helm's Deep, of course, is the only interesting thing to happen in that entire fucking film.
Is it?
Well,
I
I'd say
like-
most of the Two Towers is a bit of a
I
letdown.
like the Two Towers. Well, I like all the films really.
Yeah, I don't think enough substance happens in the Two Towers. That's the problem for me.
Hmm. Hmm. I liked.
Oh, there was a line that amused me a little bit. Bilbo talking about how Frodo will have to tell them the entirety of what happened between him leaving, between Bilbo leaving and the point that they met up again in Rivendell, because it sounded like there had been chapters and chapters of things that had taken place before they'd even reached Rivendell, or before they'd even reached Bree or wherever. And it's like, yeah, there are. There's fucking tons of chapters. I mean, I've been listening to them for the last 8 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it's like years after.
17 years between.
Yeah.
Because Frodo's 50, I believe, at the point at which he sets out to Rivendell. And he was 33 when Bilbo left, because they totaled what age together?
What?
What age did Bilbo and Frodo combined reach when Bilbo left?
It's his 111th birthday.
It is 111th birthday.
Bilbo's Frodo's pretty young for a hobbit, so he's probably in his probably 50 odd.
He was 33 at that point. Together they were 144. Or one gross, and they had 144 guests in their special tent, and he referred to them as a gross, much to their disappointment, because it was an insulting term to them.
I know less than half of you, half as well as you deserve.
Yeah.
You want a non-Lord of the Rings topic?
No, I think I'm done with them. I'm enjoying it. It's good to get back into it because it's been a while.
Good. Good.
Do you have a non-Lord of the Rings topic to move on to?
Of course I do.
Okay, well, you're gonna pick one then.
Are we good at football?
No, we're fucking awful at football.
Right. Because we won the game against Netherlands, and there seems to be a distinct lack of optimism that we're in the final.
Do you know what it is? Is that all the knockout games that we've played, we have won in the last few minutes, all on penalties. Like we haven't definitively won any of them. We've got lucky in the closing stages, and managed to clutch it basically. It has been their game to lose, and they have lost that game, basically.
Well, I'm sort of tempted to say so fucking what.
No, it's hard to get behind a team when you consider it to be luck rather than skill. It's hard to be optimistic about our chances if.
Are we sure it's not skill? Are we sure it's not a deliberate thing?
What, would deliberately wait until the very end of the match?
Not deliberately, like this is part of the strategy. Play defensive until the end.
We haven't been playing that defensively, though.
Well, I don't know football. I'm not even watching the games.
The only one I watched, I wouldn't say that we were playing defensively at all. I'd say that we were lucky that we managed to score when we did. Like it was literally 6 minutes of extra time at the end. In the 95th minute, we scored the equalising goal, and then got a convincing, got an early goal to win it in the extra time. But the fact it went to extra time at all was last second shit. Basically, it could not have
I
been
don't know.
much later.
I feel like the British public are never happy.
So we're so used to getting far in these tournaments and then losing it at the end. You know, it's what happens. It's how it goes for us. It's hard to be optimistic about a sport that historically we do okay at. We don't do well at it. We do okay at it. I was talking to. Sorry, go on.
Winning the World, I've said it before. I'll say it again. Winning the World Cup was the worst thing to happen in English football.
I was talking to the boy about it the day, whatever day it was that we were playing against the Netherlands, and that morning I said to him that they are a team who are known for being good. We are a team that is known for being okay, and he laughed. He understood what I was getting at there. You know, like it's not fucking rocket science. I'm surprised that we beat them. I'm genuinely surprised we beat them. I didn't bet on it. I was tempted to bet on them winning, and I thought no, because knowing my luck, we'll fucking win, and we did. Right? We have been a shock. It's a shock to me that we have managed to get through to the point that we've got through to, and it's a welcome shock because it'd be nice. And there's talk of trying to get a bank holiday out of it if we do win, isn't there? It's not going to happen, but
well, we try to get a bank holiday out of anything.
I mean, it's too short. It would be too short notice, wouldn't it? Think about bank holidays. You need to sort of plan around a bank holiday. Say, for example, maybe that's why we're not doing a payment tomorrow. No, I doubt it. Say for example, we at work do a backs payment tomorrow. The way that we set those things up, we would need to use Monday's date as a processing date at bank.
Yeah.
They would look at a file that specifically has Monday's date on it. If Monday then ends up being a bank holiday, that payment in theory shouldn't go through. That entire process should be fucked up because someone's decided to have a bank holiday last minute. You can't go around handing out bank holidays for the sake of fucking possible sport events. It doesn't. It's not good business. It's not good. It's not good governing, really. Look, I know you're saying that because I brought work into it, but I brought work into it because it's a tangible way of explaining it. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's otherwise I just sound like some twat who doesn't want a bank holiday. But there's a fucking explanation behind it. Society doesn't work as well if you just do these things willy nilly and last minute.
Well, I'd like a bank holiday.
I'd love a bank holiday, but I'd still be fucking working. So, you know, if we are going to get one, it'll probably be on a day that I'm off. Like when the Queen died. You know, we had the bank holiday when the Queen died, the extra day.
Yeah.
That fucked up my holidays because I'd already booked the day off, so I had to find another fucking day. I had to find another fucking day to book off at a time when it was already impossible to find days to book off.
Yeah.
You know, couldn't have gone on for another 6 months, could she? Bloody Liz Truss. Oh, look at that museum.
Pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, do you think it's made by the bloke who did Guggenheim?
I don't think so.
I'll tell you what, I'll get a picture of it and then you can Google it, can't you? Sorry, mate. I'm assuming it's a museum. Musée des Confluences. Do you want to Google that?
Google what?
The Museum of Confluences in Lyon. We can work out who designed it.
Okay.
I'd do it, but I'm driving, so I can't really.
Wolf D. Prick.
What?
Wolf D. Prick.
That's a weird name. Sounds more like a title. Montpellier. Geneva.
But an architect Wikipedia page. Buildings. Okay. BMW Welt in Munich. The Akron Art Museum in Ohio. Musée de Confluence is in Lyon. The Guggenheim.
Oh, it is the same guy then.
No, I'm telling you, who did the Guggenheim. Guggenheim was Frank Lloyd Wright.
Okay, fair enough.
So,
It looks similar in basic design.
he's still alive.
Yeah.
Wolf D. Pricks. Born in 1942.
Wow. It's alright for some, isn't it?
Mm.
Would you like to take part in this week's BBC quiz of the week from Thursday? I remember all the questions.
Oh, go on then.
Okay, so
What'd you get?
just the glory. I mean, I know how many I got. I got 3 out of 5 again this week.
Okay, let's see if I can beat you.
Yes, I mean, I hope you can. I want your hands off the keyboards.
Yeah?
No typing, no checking. First answer.
No, I'm not.
Okay, so what is the time difference between London and Melbourne?
Now, my mum went to Australia one Christmas. Now, what was it in the Maldives? It was... I think it was 6 hours in the Maldives. And that's not massively far away. So let's go 10.
You're going 10 hours.
Yeah.
It's 9 hours.
Fuck! Did you get that?
No, I thought 9 hours and then changed my mind to 10 before they'd answered it. So I counted it as I gave the answer of 10 hours.
I did play around with the idea of 9, but I thought it was more than that.
No, it's 9 hours.
Right.
Okay, so fuck's sake. I'm trying to remember it now. That's annoying. In The Wizard of Oz, what did the Tin Man want?
A heart.
Correct. Sorry, I'll just do that.
I'm guessing you got that.
I did get that, yes. Trying to remember the other one that I didn't get. What is the capital of Australia?
Canberra.
Correct. I did get that one.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake. Las Vegas is commonly nicknamed as what city? So blank city.
Sin City.
Sin City, correct. It was Kylie asking the questions, so it's
Kylie Minogue.
Yeah, Kylie Minogue. They don't normally get celebrities on for it. I thought she was going to be taking part, but she was actually asking the damn things this time.
Oh, right.
And the bloke who normally hosts it was taking part. So,
huh.
What was it? Yes, Giorgio Armani turns 90 today. Well, he would turn 90 today. I think he's dead. But what did he... He's a fashion designer.
Yeah.
What did he originally train as? Was it a butcher, a doctor, or a blacksmith?
Butcher.
That's the answer I gave.
Fuck.
It was wrong. He was a doctor.
Fuck.
So you also got 3 out of 5.
Again.
It's just the way it is. It's it's a difficult set of questions. Because
we got the easy ones.
We did get the easy ones, but I mean, unless you know anything about Giorgio Armani,
you fucked that up. You fucked that.
Unless you know anything about Giorgio Armani, how are you going to know that?
Phones flying.
It's a 1 in 3 on the Giorgio one, right? And we both flirted with the idea of it being 9 hours instead of 10, so it's not the end of the world. I prefer to get 4 out of 5. I can live with not getting one of the specialist questions. Right?
I just want to beat you.
Yeah, that's what it is. How many? A few of them had 4 out of 5. Yeah, they didn't all get the same ones right, but 2 or 3 of them had 4 out of 5 from that. So they did a tiebreaker question.
Oh.
And I can't remember the exact answer. You'd probably be able to Google it after you've given your answer.
Okay.
I remember roughly what it was. The question was, how many Lars are there in the song "Can't Get You Out of My Head"?
Oh, fuck me. What, an entire song?
That's what they said.
Jesus. okay. I've counted a load of them and I got to like 30 odd.
Okay, so how many are you saying for the song?
Well, it's going to be more than that. It's going to repeat because we were talking about it before. It's a very repetitive song.
It is.
For some reason, logically, I'm saying 90 because I feel like that goes through it 3 times. That seems like an awful lot.
I was under the impression it went through that sort of section because it's the start of it, isn't it? And then it definitely happens at least once more towards the end, or part way through.
Yeah.
I thought it went through it twice, so I went with around.
Yeah.
I went with a 60 odd.
Yeah, I reckon it's about 70 odd, really. I think 90 is too high.
I can't remember the exact answer, but it's around about 170.
Jesus.
I think she said 178. So I was surprised by that. In the end, the guy who does the quiz got more right than anyone else because he was closer on that one. Oh, we have fucked it, Ben.
Gone the wrong way.
No, I've not gone the wrong way. We need to rest up at some point, and we ain't got anywhere to rest.
How long have we been going?
What, on this video?
Yeah.
Hour 15?
God, is that it?
Oh, what do you mean, is that it? Bastard. There might be a rest stop at this toll booth. If there is, then we can stop there. If there's not, then we're going to have to work something out because we've only got 9 driving minutes. Oh, there is. There's a place. There's a place, Ben. We can rest up here. We just need to get to it. This lorry's in the way. Let us through. Oh God, let us through. Let me through. Let me in. Don't fall asleep at the wheel. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. I just need to reverse a bit.
How many topics you got left?
4. And you're not gonna like one of them at least.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Okay. Well, go on. Give me one of yours.
No, because I need to concentrate. Why? What have you got left?
I think 3.
Okay, well, do one of yours then.
Okay.
Okay. Possible there's some overlap on these anyway.
Possibly. We've had some Doctor Who news.
Oh, is this Mrs. Flood by any chance?
Yes.
Okay.
See, David said we may not get an explanation for the breaking the fourth wall.
I mean, it's bullshit if we don't. How far up himself does he have to be?
I don't know. I always assumed it was just an aspect of who that character is. That there was some sort of mystical bullshit that you don't need necessarily a physical explanation. You know, a proper explanation like she can see worlds. You know, whatever. You just need. I don't know. She's just a mystical.
Apparently, it was going to be explained in the Starbase, and they opted against it. And now they may not ever explain it.
That was early, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Like, I can live with it. Yeah.
What?
You were questioning the weight because of how early. I'm assuming.
Well, is this who she is? That's not going to be explained, or just how she can speak to
the fourth wall break is what I understood it to be.
Yeah, that's what I understood.
Apparently, that was going to be explained in the Starbase, and they decided against it. And you're right, that is quite a long time ago in this thingy. I am going to save the game here.
Yeah.
And we will finish this journey later. Before we do, I just want to have a very quick look at how our driver is doing.
Our wage slave. Mimi.
No, where is it? Company, driver manager. She has earned us a total of €277 a day. And this is based on 3 jobs, one of which earned us a profit of $13.33. Oh, that's the latest one. Oh, that's not bad, is it? That's quite a good job. Rotterdam to Felix there.
She's paying for herself. How much did she cost?
Well, I don't know what it is. That's profit.
Oh.
I mean, we pay her 361 a delivery plus 10.35 a kilometre. So we earn about 476 a kilometre off her. And that's going to go up if she's learning how to do eco driving, because that's going to reduce the amount of fuel it costs us.
Mm.
And at the moment, she's doing a job from Felixstowe to Rotterdam. Happy bloody days. So yeah, that's happy. We've got our own little bitch now.
Don't be rude.
No, not bitch because she's a woman. Bitch because she's our bitch.
You apologise to her.
No, I pay her. That's enough. Anywho, thank you for joining us, everyone.
Good thing you don't have a HR team.
It is. We might have. It might be the same as the one from work. Anywho, thank you for joining us, even though you didn't. Have a good one, everyone. Say bye, Ben.
Bye, Ben.
Bye, Ben.